Capital in the Morning with Renee and McBool.
You did mention, before we sort of played a little song, all about, when I asked you about nuclear energy, that we would need at least 1,000 nuclear scientists. Well, let's go down that road, particularly the road of education. 2 complaints with education today. 1, not enough of it and not widely spread enough. Well, don't worry, we'll get to the laptops, my love. Come through, Number 2 is that it's not relevant for employers. Most employers are finding that it's still very difficult for them to find employees. Because you see, laptops, as I understand it, is within the mandate of or the object of trying to achieve a relevant education for children across the country in this 21st century, if that was my correct understanding of what the purpose of the laptops are. So we don't have the laptops yet. But more importantly is that we don't have enough widespread, relevant education for where we are and where we need to be.
Renee, again, let me say that is an area that is of great significance to us. Mm-hmm. Education needs to be affordable, good quality, accessible, and relevant. Really, I think that's really the bottom line. And relevant, emphasis on relevant. Otherwise, it just becomes another story, or a ritual. It shouldn't be. It should be one that equips people with the necessary competence and skills that will take them, will enable them use their talent to transform society. What have we done about education? Number 1, since 2003, when free primary education was introduced, the capitation remained the same for 10 years. This year, we decided to do something about it because, again, the culture of fees had started to creep in because the capitation was not enough. So this year, we have increased money available for free primary education by 40%. What percent?
40%, Deputy President. This is like being in class, isn't it? Go on then.
By 40%. Meaning that there will be additional money available for our children to be given the correct education. Number 2, we've also increased the money available for secondary education by 35%. We've increased the money from 20 billion shillings to 28 billion shillings beginning this year, going forward. Again, because we believe that quality is necessary. And for you to get quality, you must spend a bit more money. Thirdly, we, again, in matters of making it accessible, we have undertaken as government that beginning next year, all kids who get to Standard 8 and Form 4, the examination fees that will be demanded of parents from next year, government is going to pay. So that all our kids, Standard 8, Form 4, will do examinations, whether they come from poor or rich backgrounds, without paying any school fees, any examination fees. Fourthly, in terms of relevance, right? What have we done when it comes to relevance? Number 1, we are constructing 60 this year, 100 next year, another 100 the year that follows, technical training institutes in the country. We are spending 100 million shillings in every constituency to construct a technical training institute. Why are we doing so? We have many young people out of school, Form 4, who have no training. They have no skills. They cannot participate in the economy because they have no skills, and they cannot afford to go far places. So we have decided that we are going to take these to every constituency. And we are now working with county governments so that in every ward there is what was called the village polytechnic, which we are now transforming into a college, right? What are we trying to do? We're trying to equip every young person out of school with competence. And the examination is that we actually have a whole new examination council for technical training. So that if you are, for example, learning carpentry, the examination is not about how to make a desk. You will be given wood, a hammer, and nails, and you will actually make a desk as an examination. So we are taking education to a different level because, again, we believe that to be able to meaningfully harness the talent, the energy of young people, we must first equip them with skills. Otherwise, their energy is not useful. You know, that's why you find so many young people, they are said to be unemployable because they don't have the skills. And it is the business and responsibility of society, government, you know, to make sure that these young people are employable because we have given them the necessary skills. Let me conclude by saying, even at the university level, we are asking universities, you know, not to waste young people. If you get 800 students in a class learning anthropology, which is a good subject, but I mean 800 of them, you know, learning about how Vasco da Gama came and how Albuquerque or the other one and the other fellow, which is good. But you see, 800 of them is a bit too much, you know. So we are churning out graduates who we are sure cannot be employed in any place. So we are having a conversation and we are saying, we have carried out an audit as Kenya or as Kenyans. We say, for us to be able to get Vision 2030 going, or even bring it forward to Vision 2020, right? We must get the necessary competencies. If we need engineers, if we need quantity surveyors, if we need doctors, we must train them. Otherwise, this Vision 2030 could become something else, right? And therefore, we are having that conversation, and I am very happy that universities are listening. And industry is beginning to dovetail into what is going on in our universities. And progressively, we want to make it mandatory, yeah, that you cannot graduate in certain courses. If you are an engineer, you cannot graduate as an engineer unless you have a year of experience, you know, real work. You work in an industry, you work in a factory, you work in a place where you really, you know, you so that you come out as an engineer. So this is the whole matrix of the things that we are working on in the education sector.
Where are you going to get the teachers from? By
the way, we have many teachers out of the Kenya Science Teachers Training College here in Gigiri. We have, in fact, of the 5,000 teachers we are employing this year, 1,000 will be for our TTIs in preparation for next year. That's already been discussed between the Ministry, Teacher Service Commission, and government.